Cinematic gaming has developed a sound profile for its female characters, and it's pretty quiet. Now, to be clear here, when I talk about cinematic gaming, I'm referring to titles that use its dynamic camera to have the game have the feel and pacing that a movie would. Titles like Heavy Rain, God of War, Mass Effect, The Last of Us are all pretty prime examples of this style where play is quite fluid from one scene to the next. A player simply walks through a narrative and is given the chance to almost be a part of the narrative itself. Women characters in this genre seem to be marginalized, though, in one of the most unique ways possible. No, not like that. No, stop. No. Yes. So visually, women have been pretty objectified. But what I'm talking about here is much more nuanced, much more subtle, and with that in mind, much more ingrained. The women in these games are just so quiet. And this is a real problem in gaming because when it comes to this, women who might be looked at as moving forward in representation and being maybe more visually suitable to their environments, there's still a long way to go in having the true experience of having a female protagonist or supporting actress embodied in the experience of gaming itself. Alright, so comparing Lara Croft to Nathan Drake, Elizabeth to Victor Sullivan or Sully shows that even though in a written narrative or visually there's nothing shocking about these women, in sound and gameplay this is very different.
Come on! Done! First aid, Booker!
Sully has a gun. Elizabeth is defenseless. So instantly, there's a giant difference to be thought of when it comes to these two titles. Furthermore, Sully isn't following Drake around like a lost puppy, where Elizabeth seems a lot more like an accessory to Booker, doing what he needs her to do, following him around, and can't really contribute combat-wise. Finally, let's listen and pay attention to Nathan Drake and Lara Croft. Very similar characters looking to seek out the truth of their ancestors and the community at large. Indiana Jones, you live on in the strangest of ways.
Come on! Come on!
Drake immediately has a gun. Lara has a bow and arrow. Okay, so this is supposed to be an academic presentation, but can I rant? Why? What's with the women bow and arrow thing? Katniss Everdeen everywhere. She used to just have guns, not a bow and arrow. Is this really what we really want? Is this really it? Alright, so there's that, and Laura has to sneak around everywhere. To an extent, Drake does sneak around when he attempts not to attract attention, but he's never nearly as defenseless in items as weapons as Lara Croft is. Also, this whole capture scene, why? Drake would be allowed these silent takedowns of guards or some method of going through the obstacle, not around it. It's almost like Lara is punished for going through a male-dominated island rather than seen as someone trying to rescue her friend Sam to prove the idea right. Even narratively, this seems to take a back seat. But overall, she's much more quiet in gameplay. It isn't all doom and gloom, though. There are games where a women leader support is seen as a force to be reckoned with and one that battles through the game itself. Just think about Lightning in Final Fantasy XIII. She has a clear objective, her mechanic is very attached to her narrative role, and she isn't made to sneak around her trouble, and at times is even encouraged to go right through it. Would love to see more of how this is or isn't the case. Instantly, I think of Mirror's Edge, The Last of Us, upon others, about women being primarily silent and sneaky as opposed to male counterparts who are encouraged to just bulldoze through a level. Where is this true? And where is this not the case, like in Final Fantasy XIII? Throw me some suggestions by commenting below.